Welcome to Peace of Mind Therapy LLC podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about mental health in spaces that you don't expect. Today, we have a guest speaker who has a background in mental health. She is a university professor, a licensed mental health therapist. She is an author, and she also wears the crown of Miss Unity World USA. So welcome our guest, Dr. Joanne Frederick. So thank you. It is so good to see you. Thank you for gracing us with your presence today.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about what got you into mental health. What brought you into the mental health field?
As a child, my mom always talked about mental health without using those words. Mm-hmm. She would say, when you get older, if anything happens in life, talk about it. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what she was talking about. I was like 5.
Yes.
But then I started seeing family members dealing with mental health issues. Mm-hmm. And so by the time I was 14, I figured out that the people who dealt with their mental health issues are doing well today.
Yes.
And the people in my family who did not, they're no longer here. Many of them died by suicide.
Oh, okay.
And so from the age of 5, 14, I made a commitment to study this thing and work in the field.
Yes. And that kind of brought me to my next question in terms of, being in this profession. At any time, did it become personal to you, versus just being, straight with mental health? Mm-hmm.
Yep. So always personal.
Yes.
I see people are survivors. And when we talk about what we're going through, we heal.
Yes.
But when we try to hide it, we keep this secret for years, whatever the secret is, that's when people deal a lot with some serious mental health issues. And then the other thing, I feel like there's 3 ways to deal with mental health issues, treat it. One is through talk therapy.
Yes.
The other one is medication, prescribed medication. And then the third way is a combination of both.
Okay.
So we can survive
Yes.
once we do one of those things.
Absolutely. Now, how do you feel about taking natural herbals in terms of helping with mental health?
I feel excellent. Those are other alternatives, which works. And sometimes that includes vitamins that we need. Sometimes I've had patients that were dealing with some serious depression. And then when we were able to get some medical care, it was a vitamin D deficiency.
Yes.
Right? So yes, 100% the natural herbs as well.
Absolutely. And speaking of vitamin D, I know right now, because we're in the winter months, we're in the colder months right now, and we do find, I just did a presentation or a winter wellness webinar on seasonal depression, and one of the things that we found is that, vitamin D is found for most people that experience seasonal depression, they have a low deficiency in vitamin D. So I'm glad you brought that up because it definitely impacts our mental health.
Definitely.
So what is one misconception that you notice that most people have in terms of mental health? What's one misconception that, you see from people?
That word, mental health, mental wellness, doesn't apply to me.
Okay.
That's other people. I just deal with stress in life, and, I don't understand how that relates to me. So that thought, I remind people that mental wellness, mental health, mental care relates to everyone, just like our physical being. And I use myself as an example. I say that even the therapist needs someone to talk to.
Oh, absolutely.
So that no one is exempt.
Exactly. Absolutely. Now, you have actually transitioned into the realm of pageantry. And I know that part of your mission is to bring mental health awareness using pageantry as a platform. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, definitely. So wearing this crown and the sash just amplifies my voice as a mental health advocate and activist. And I didn't really know that. I just knew that I was doing the work. I've been doing the work again for many years as a professor, an author, and as a mental health provider in 3 different states. But I liked pageantry. I literally grew up in a beauty salon.
Yes.
So hair, makeup, confidence, all related.
Yes.
But my mom, who's retired now,
Okay.
was a Psy cosmetologist, where she focused on the beauty of cosmetology, but the psychology of helping women and men deal with what they're going through by just her listening to them and beautifying them.
Beautiful.
So it's always been in my DNA. And then this whole pageant thing, when I saw one that I kind of qualified for, and I also saw a pageant in Texas. I was in Texas.
Oh, okay.
And the women reminded me of me.
Oh,
they were black.
Okay.
They were first generation American. They were curvy. They had natural hair. Just something I never saw.
Yes.
And I was with people who are from Texas, and they said everything is bigger in Texas and everything is natural. That's what they told me. So I was like, okay. So then, my first pageant was Miss Corporate America, Maryland, which isn't even a year yet.
Okay.
And so I did that. I enjoyed the journey.
Yes.
I didn't know really anything about pageantry. But what it did for me was it built my confidence level. It increased my public speaking skills. It amplified my voice as a mental health professional.
Yes.
But most importantly, it was a lot of self-care. It is a lot of self-care, which is watching what I'm eating, how I'm sleeping, my water intake. So the same things that I tell people as a mental health therapist, the pageantry requires me to do that personally in order to compete.
Yes, absolutely. So were there any hesitations or fears that came up when you first entered into that industry?
So I did what I tell my patients to do is look at both sides. Win, lose, or draw, what are the benefits? So when I asked myself that question, it just pushed me. I didn't feel like, no, don't do this. But I also had other setbacks, like maybe other things that I ran for or competed for and I didn't get it. Okay. And so I also learned that rejection is okay. Rejection is God's redirection.
There you go.
So
that's right.
Win, lose, or draw, I networked. I got exposed to people I wouldn't have, people across the United States, diverse people. And so for me, it was a win-win all the way around. Yes. And then I guess it showed and paid off.
Absolutely. Because I do know that sometimes, when we venture out and do things, it is a learning lesson along the way. There's always something to learn from those experiences, and it makes us better for the next steps or the next direction that we're going into.
Exactly.
So that is definitely awesome.
Definitely. And then also, with USA World Pageants, that's the one that I actually won the title of Miss Unity World USA. Their platform is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yes. So that also exposed me to being the best version of myself versus comparing myself to other women as well.
Awesome. So what would you say surprised you most, going into that industry that you weren't really expecting?
Yeah, so the piece of confidence, what it looks like and how you carry yourself and even how you interview. So in pageants, interview is probably where people win the pageants. But the interview is also private and personal. So when we look at a pageant, we see women and sometimes men, there's pageants for men as well, on stage, walking with a gown, maybe answering a question and maybe a talent, maybe a national costume. But what we don't see is the interview. So what surprised me the most is I thought I was a good interviewer. Okay. But I became better, which is when you get interviewed, talk about you. Yes. Talk about how it relates to your community initiative, or some people call it a platform. Okay. Talk about how it relates to the pageant system. And so I had to learn all of that, and I was surprised that, there's different types of interviews.
You did well, yes.
Also, what was surprising is the personal piece, too. Okay. Because an interview interview isn't just an interview. You're talking about you, the most vulnerable parts of you. And that was surprising because I didn't know.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, learn something new every day.
And I love it.
Every
love
day.
It. Yes.
Now, pageantry isn't a place where most people find mental health. And I know you have really brought this into, your platform there. So talk to us a little bit about We Rise. What is We Rise? I know that is part of your initiative out there.
Yes, you know it, girl. I love that. Love it. That means you're paying attention.
I am. So tell us about We Rise.
Thank you. So We Rise is my platform, and RISE is an acronym.
Okay.
And the R stands for rejuvenate. The I stands for inspire.
Yes.
The S stands for support, and the E stands for enlighten.
Yes.
So if you listen to those words, they all relate to mental wellness. They relate to empowering people, especially women. But it also relates to surviving.
Yes.
Surviving the political climate we live in, surviving the climate we live in. And I'm talking the weather, right? Surviving family traumas, surviving losses of relationships, losses of, things that are close to us. And so that's what the We Rise. So my thought is when we think about rising, we can apply it in everything, but it really relates to mental wellness.
Awesome. I love that. Great initiative. So did you face like any pushbacks or any stigmas for blending these two identities? Because again, having mental health inside of pageantry is definitely something that you don't hear about. It's definitely something new. So did you face like any challenges with that?
I did. And believe it or not, the challenges are with the people that's closest to me. Because they may at some point felt like, you're just looking for an evening gown. Like, well, how much does that cost? And shouldn't you be doing something else?
Yeah.
But when they realized like the cause, and that's me having to explain and show. Because one of the things with pageantry for me is mental wellness. But the other women, there's other things. There's domestic violence, there's breast cancer. There are all types of survivors, and those are the story. And so in my world, no one that I even know that has been a beauty queen actually been on stage and won a pageant. And so for me, it was a lot of education, and it still is. So like this kind of conversation is educating, particularly people in my circle who were kind of like, what are you doing? But they kind of understand now, and I think they understand more by me winning. And my next step is going global, and where I'm going, how I'm going, when I'm going. They're like, oh my God, like this is serious. Like you're doing good, so that changed. But that was definitely a tough part. Really.
Yes, understood. Yes, because pageantry is taking you around the world. I know you have an upcoming trip to India.
Yes, I'm going to India.
Yes. Is there a specific message that you want to bring to, the nation or the people there when you do, travel globally?
Definitely. Same message. So my title as Mrs. Unity World USA means that my platform, the things that I'm doing is always uniting people. Right? And so, but I represent the United States of America. So myself and the other young ladies, we're Team USA, different divisions, but we're traveling together. We're all across the United States. We're all diverse. We all have different platforms. And so when I go on this global international stage in Lucknow, India, October 20th, 2026. So I'm in pageant mode right now.
Absolutely.
I will be networking with other women across the globe. So there's Nigeria, Japan, Korea, India, Tibet, Netherlands. And I wouldn't get this exposure if I wasn't doing this.
Absolutely.
We're learning, even traveling and even the culture going to India. I'm even learning Hindi.
Okay.
Right. Yes. And so that's the message. The message is unifying women, period, across the globe.
I love it. I love it. And so how do you hope that this work is going to change the view of mental health?
Yes. So the view culturally, so as I study mental health awareness in other cultures, one of the things I'm realizing is that in the United States, we're a little bit more open and free to talk about mental health, to do this.
Okay.
But globally, there's a lot more work to be done. That stigma is ever so present.
Yes.
And
yes.
so my goal is to talk freely about mental health issues.
Yes.
Here's a good example.
Okay.
So one of my virtual international appearances this week, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, because that's where you're from.
Yeah,
yes.
right. My family's from Trinidad and Tobago. Yep. So I'm beginning to do the global work.
Yes.
I'll be a guest speaker on a podcast talking about menopause.
Okay.
So menopause, again, relates to mental wellness.
It does.
But we don't talk about that across the globe. So I'm learning, in different countries what they talk about, what the experience is like.
Yes.
And then I'm also going to share from my personal experience, being in menopause myself, but also working with patients.
Yes.
So the message is, globally, culturally, we all deal with similar things, some of the same things, but we can educate. We can collaborate versus compete.
Indeed.
And that's the message.
I know that's right. And speaking of menopause, because I was on another wellness webinar this past week, and menopause came up as well. So it must be something in the air, or just that age range, where women are actually dealing with that. And like you said, it can impact your mental health because it takes you through so many different moods, body temperature changing, hormonal changes, and all of that impacts our wellness. So yes, it's coming back around, in circle.
It's coming back around. And for me, I was in denial. Like, I didn't really even understand menopause until I was fanning at a table, and
like,
some women said, "You need a fan?" And I said, "Yeah."
Absolutely.
And she gave me the fan, and I was like, in my mind, who walks around with a fan in their pocketbook? But that was the first incident because we started talking, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I get it. All right, I'm getting it."
Indeed. So in your, in your travels and in your work, has there been any stories that have really touched your heart, or just kind of stood out to you, or had an impact, on you in terms of mental health?
Yes. So as I travel the United States, and I have sister queens that are coming out of USA World Pageants, when I hear their stories and their survival techniques and how they've survived, those things impact me in terms of mental health. It impacts me to see how resilient women are.
Speak on it.
Across the globe, right? Across the United States. The things, the trauma, so whether it's domestic violence, or whether it's terminal illnesses or diagnosis that comes and goes, but to hear and sit down and listen to women's stories, I just think of we got it going on.
Ooh,
yes,
indeed,
resilient.
Yes. And I do want to point out, because a lot of times people aren't very outspoken in terms of what they're going through. So for someone who is kind of silently dealing with something, what words of wisdom or words of advice would you give to them?
So the advice is that secret. That secret that you're holding on to. And I would say everybody have a secret. But we begin to heal when we start talking about that secret.
Yes.
And you could talk to a close friend. You could talk to a stranger. What happened to you when you was a child? What happened to you as an adult? And you question, like, how did I even get in that situation? Like, I should know better because I'm this age, or I'm this educated, or I'm from here. But that secret, we got to release it and start talking. And that's my word of advice.
Yes, absolutely, because it will weigh you down, for quite a while, until you start letting it go piece by piece. So is that, or would that be just that one small step that you would encourage someone to take to just kind of get them started?
To get them started. Get them started.
Yeah.
And so as a therapist, many times my patients, the first time they talked about that secret, whatever it is, it's with me.
Oh, yeah.
And I just listen. And that's all they needed. And they may cry, they may hesitate, they may do all kinds of things while sharing a secret. But when they're done talking, they say, I feel so much better. Mind you, nothing has changed.
Right.
But what has happened was there was a space to share and a person listen unconditionally without their thoughts. And so as I'm encouraging people to share their secrets, I'm also encouraging us on the other side that when a person is talking and sharing, listen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that first step is to start speaking about it. But you want to speak to someone who you feel safe with, who you feel comfortable with, and that's going to nourish you through the process. So yes, very nice.
And we can begin there.
And so speaking of that, if you could reach back and talk to your younger self, what advice would you give to that younger you?
You go, girl.
Keep
going.
Absolutely.
You're going to be pleasantly surprised later. Don't worry about those student loans, getting that doctorate degree. You know, it's going to pay itself off. Here's another thing I would say. So I've been married. I'm divorced.
Okay.
And I would tell myself, that life is going to happen. Things may not work the way you planned it, but you're going to survive. You're going to be okay.
Absolutely.
And I would just give myself some heads up that,
right, that these
life
challenges might happen.
There you
go.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what does healing mean to you today?
Today, healing means being able to look at myself, yourself, in a mirror and say, wow.
Yes.
I like what I see. I like what I feel. I like how I make others feel.
Yes.
Because I think healing is also being intentional to be unconditional with other people and to care for them. But it really starts with being unconditional with yourself.
Yes.
There are things that we look at with ourselves or we hear ourselves saying that we don't like about ourselves. But healing is beginning to recognize that I'm okay, right? But with the okay, there's always room for improvement.
There we go.
Right? So what is it about me, about you, about us that we need to improve? And so that's what healing looks like.
Yes, I love
it's
that.
ongoing.
I love that.
It ends in ing. It doesn't stop.
Right. We're healing, we're learning, we're doing all those INGs every day.
Yes. And it's okay.
So tell us, where can people connect with you? How can they connect with you and support the work that you're doing? How can they reach you?
Yes, they can reach me. So one, if you follow me on Instagram, and on Instagram, I'm Mrs. Unity World USA 25_26. There, I have a lot of stuff going on, like my journey, what I'm doing, where I'm going, but I also have a lot of mental health tips and advice and workshops and things that I put out there. So right now, I also have a workshop called We Rise in Confidence.
Yes.
It's on Eventbrite. So if you look up Dr. Joanne Frederick or We Rise in Confidence, purchase a ticket. It's only like $20. Myself and another young lady, Shonda Thompson. So you could reach me there. You can reach me via email at Ask Dr. Joanne. So that's AskDrJoanne at yahoo.com. I'm also on the radio.
Yes.
WEAA 88.9 FM. Download that. I'm on Throwback Saturdays show. We listen to old school music. And the show is called The Voice of the Community. And then I come on and talk about mental health awareness stuff.
Yes.
And then you could always, call me. Purchase my book on Amazon, Copology. So I'm around. I'm available. Reach out.
There you have it, y'all. You have heard it from the queen, Dr. Joanne Jefferson, Miss Unity World.
Jefferson, that's the old name, girl.
I apologize.
That's the old name.
Dr. Joanne Frederick, Miss Unity World USA 2025. So to everyone that's listening, just remember you are not alone. I am your host, Mrs. Jermaine Graves, aka Mecca. And so thank you for being here and showing up today. So please continue to stay tuned in to the next episode. And again, we thank you. Dr. Frederick,
Thank you.
Miss
Welcome.
World, Unity World 2025 for spending time with us today. We are truly honored, and you wear the crown so well.
Thank you, honey. See you in October. You coming to India with me?
I am coming to India with you.
Okay, y'all coming? Okay,
yes.
good. I'm waiting.
We will be there globally, so you all stay tuned and follow us.
Thank you.
Thank you.